Another day, another bombshell revelation that ITV now plans a summer shake-up of This Morning, with scandal hit Phillip Schofield in the firing line to be axed while Holly Willoughby keeps her job. The Sun today reported ITV bosses are prepping a bloodbath at the flagship show in the wake of the pair's massive fallout, and insiders believe Phil's time is finally up at the embattled programme, having presented This Morning since 2002. The under-pressure duo played happy families for the cameras again today by sharing an awkward on-screen kiss.
Right.
Is it time?
It's time. She's been summoned. Her carriage awaits, although it is a motorbike. And it's time for you to head to Bucky. Have you got your stuff?
Yes, I've got all my stuff, got all my bits. I'm off to the palace, to the Princess Trust, to go and introduce the winner yesterday to the King himself. So I'm going. Be good. Don't be naughty.
I'll do my best. Happy to hold the fort.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, goodbye now. Goodbye.
Say hello to Saran Jones and save me a piece
of cake. Don't forget, it's Your
Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Please make it stop. Meanwhile, Holly and Phil's feud has become such a national talking point that they were mocked in Parliament today. Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden, no less, compared the warring couple with Labour bosses Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner.
If she wants to talk about this sort of thing, we all know what's going on with her and her leader. It's all lovey-dovey on the surface. They turn it on for the cameras, but as soon as they're off, it's a different story. They're at each other's throats. Mr. Speaker, they're the Phil and Holly of British politics.
Good line. So look, simple question tonight. Who's more dysfunctional? Angela Rayner and Keir Starmer, or Holly Willoughby and Phillip Schofield? I know it's a difficult choice. Dan at gbnews.uk. Vote in our poll at GB News on Twitter. But doing battle on this now, TV personality Kim Woodburn, former Tory Minister Edwina Currie, and former Education Minister, current Tory MP Andrea Jenkins. So Andrea Jenkins, I mean, this is a bit of a Sophie's choice, isn't it? But who's more dysfunctional in your view, Angela and Keir or Holly and Phil?
I mean, it is getting excruciating to watch the Holly and Phil show, but I have to say it's going to be Keir and Angela. I mean, look, for years now, they have been at war with each other. He tried the botched attempt to try and sack her. He sacked her boyfriend instead. She came out openly back in the rail strikes, doing different to what he wanted to publicly say. And and what I'd also say is, but look at the Phillip Schofield thing. He managed to report his brother, who was a pedo, but according to Emily Thornberry, Starmer, he was head of the CPS at the time, and he let down pedo Jimmy Savile's victims. So there's some connection there as well.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point, Edwina Currie. Who do you think's more dysfunctional, Edwina? Because they both seem like quite dysfunctional pairings to me.
For me, fairly obviously, it's Sir Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner. I mean, he is a steely North Londoner, very wealthy man, multimillionaire, which never gets referred to, and she's a gobby Northerner. And you could even say that, they are so unalike. They're like chalk and cheese. She has actually said that they're like two dogs in a room. That's how she described them, and one can imagine them kind of growling and biting and snapping at each other. Maybe sniffing our parts. Well, no, that's not an image I want to share on GB News at all. But it occurred to he did actually try and sack her 2 years ago when they had poor results in the 2021 local election results. He tried to sack her as from the chair of the party, and she managed to resist that and got herself instead to be promoted. So I imagine that, they really don't get on any better now than they did then. They're very different. And she reminds me of a kind of single-use plastic, the sort of thing that you use but you really wish you didn't. He is like titanium, lightweight and expensive, whereas I think Rishi Sunak's more like steel, good looking and shiny and stylish and in wide use everywhere, and everybody relies on it.
Kim Woodburn, the slight difference is, though, Keir and Angela are battling on. They sort of know they hate each other, but they're battling on as a duo. Whereas Holly Willoughby, she wants shot of Phillip Schofield. She wants nothing to do with him.
Well, she's a two-faced bitch, isn't she?
Oh,
You see,
Kim.
sorry, I'm not. Look, I'd say it again. I'm sorry to repeat myself. Holly Willoughby is not all sweetness and light, my love. For years she said, "Oh, I'll stick by Phil. I love Phil. We love each other." Mwah, mwah, mwah. The moment she knows that bullets are being fired at Phil, she's now saying, "Oh, I'll work without him. I'll run the show without him." What a two-faced bitch. And I'll say what I said the other evening. She's aided and abetted Philip for years. She sat there and watched Philip insult people. He was very unkind to me. All right, I'm a tough nut, but it hurt. She sits there watching upset, but she goes, "Oh, Philip." Never the job she's paid for. "Philip, I don't agree with you. Philip, I think you're being harsh." She's paid to have a point of view. She's taken shed loads of money, but Phil, they need to go. And when they're being brought up now at Prime Minister's question time, by Jove, they need to go. And the question of Keir Starmer,
I mean, that's a moment, isn't it, Kim? That's a moment when your scandal actually makes it into PMQs and it's been running for day after day after a day. Can I just say, though, Kim, in defence of Holly Willoughby, because I worked with them both at ITV Daytime for 2 years, she was always a complete delight when I was dealing with her. It was Phil who was the nasty one. And the problem is, Kim, sometimes when you're dealing with a very nasty colleague, you actually have to pick up the pieces. And Holly has finally decided she doesn't want to do that anymore.
but she spent a long time deciding, my love. She's been on that
That's
show
true.
for years, dear. I mean, by gosh, if I sat with somebody on a show and I was a presenter, and that person was constantly, people were going on the show and going off very upset, I'd have to say to Philip, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Now, Philip, you're in. I mean,
So she should have done it earlier. So do you think they're more dysfunctional, Kim, than Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner?
Well, look here. Now, look, Edwina, hello, my love. Hello. Now, look here. God knows, Angela Rayner, a common as muck scouser, dear. A common as muck, dear. As muck. She called, she had got it here, I never forgot it. She called at the conference, the Brighton conference, she called all senior Conservatives, this will curl your hair. She called them homophobic, racist, misogynistic, scum. Well, she'd know all about that at the Brighton conference. Now, look here. How the hell is she still the deputy leader?
Good point.
And why
They should have got rid of that point, because there's nothing scummy about our Edwina Curry or Andrea Jenkins. Thank you too to Kim Woodburn. Fascinating discussion tonight. But who do you agree with? Which celebrity couple is more dysfunctional? Angela Rayner and Keir Starmer, or Holly Willoughby and Phillip Schofield? From Dormans, one has the power to ruin daytime television, the other has the power to ruin the country. I know who my choice is. I have to agree with that. From Ali, that's a really hard one. They are both dysfunctional, and it's clear that not one of the four likes their work partner. And from Rob, you forgot Harry and Meghan. Yeah, maybe the most dysfunctional couple in the world at the moment. But your verdict is now in. Relatively close, actually. 66% of you say Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner are more dysfunctional. 34% of you going for Holly and Phil. So it's a rare win for Holly and Phil tonight.